Monday marked 1 year since the fatal officer-involved shooting of Daunte Wright in Brooklyn Center. Today, CCX News looks at what's changed and how his family has tried to cope. City leaders say they are working hard to build a stronger, more inclusive city. But as reporter Sonia Goen shows us, there's still more work that needs to be done to move the community forward.
They wanted and they demanded that we fix a broken system.
Hundreds protested following the killing of Daunte Wright. They called for change within the Brooklyn Center Police Department, prompting city leaders to approve reforms.
And they were demanding change. People wanted for this to not happen again. They had seen too many times instances of police violence that have led to the killing of an unarmed Black man.
The Brooklyn Center City Council passed a resolution to create a new Department of Community Safety and Violence Prevention. It calls for unarmed professionals to respond to mental health calls and be responsible for enforcing non-moving traffic violations.
Only 22% of calls to 911 have anything to do with crime. So we don't need to be sending an armed person to those situations because they can escalate and become dangerous.
The resolution also regulates the use of force and creates new departments and committees to provide oversight.
We have passed the most transformative public safety package anywhere in the country.
City officials provided CCX News with a list of accomplishments. According to their list, they budgeted upwards of $3.6 million over the next 2 years for public safety. And they established and staffed the Office of Community Prevention, Health, and Safety. The city also hired an implementation committee coordinator to help usher in police reforms. But there's another key issue on the table. The city still needs to hire a police chief. The acting chief has been in his role for almost a year now.
I think it will be a lot easier for everybody having a permanent position filled where we'll be able to have very clear direction, know where we're going to be going forward.
City officials say they hope to fill the chief's position soon. However, they want community input.
We now have to create and imagine this new system where everybody feels safe in the community. Because when everybody feels safe, that's when our community can truly thrive.
In Brooklyn Center, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
As the city continues working on details of how to improve policing, Daunte Wright's family members continue to deal with the aftermath of last year's tragedy.
They say that time is supposed to get easier, but it's been 1 year and it's not easier. It's a new life that you learn how to live, but it never gets easier.
Daunte Wright's mother, Katie, spoke to CCX News last week. She reflected on the events of the past year and how her life has changed. While the community has supported her and her family since the incident last April, which includes erecting a memorial to Donte at the Brooklyn Center intersection where he was killed, Katie admits that her son's death has taken a toll on her mental health.
I am going to forever have moments like it's a piece of us that we'll never have back, but because of support from family, friends, community, strangers that I have never even met, checking up on me every single day, asking, how are you doing? What can we do to help? That helps us get through it.
Katie Wright says that going forward, she's going to continue playing an activist role to help prevent other families from having to endure the same thing she went through. This week, the Brooklyn Park Police Chief and local elected leaders will host a panel discussion on public safety. It takes place this Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the Brooklyn Park Library. The panel discussion will include Brooklyn Park Police Chief Craig Envoldson, State Senator John Hoffman, Brooklyn Park Mayor Lisa Jacobson, and Hennepin County Commissioner Jeff Lundy. In addition to attending in person, the event will also be streamed so everyone can view the discussion. The Maple Grove Police Department is doing its part to help stand with the people of Ukraine. The police department is donating ballistic vests and riot helmets it can no longer use to help Ukrainian soldiers. The police gear would have been recycled since it's past its 5-year service life when the manufacturer will no longer warranty it. However, police say the usefulness of the equipment extends beyond that time frame.
This is a way for the Maple Grove Police Department to help with the war in Ukraine and to keep individuals over there safe. And it's the equipment that we no longer could use, so we felt it was a way to help contribute to that effort.
The Minnesota National Guard is handling the collection and shipping logistics. Warmer temperatures will eventually arrive, and with the nicer weather comes the start of road construction season. One ongoing project will repair parts of Highway 10 in Anoka. It will cause lane closures and detours that could impact drivers coming through Brooklyn Park, especially if traffic is heavy during the summer months.
It's hard to predict, but if we have a nice weekend, we may have quite a bit of extra traffic. We are detouring using Highway 610, which goes through Brooklyn Park, Interstate 94 and Highway 101, or the reverse, depending upon which way you're traveling.
The Maple Grove to Clearwater project on I-94 is also continuing. Crews completed the Maple Grove to Rogers portion last year, and they will work on completing the project by August. Delays and backups into Maple Grove are still possible this summer. Finalists have been named for Minnesota's 2022 Teacher of the Year. There are 11 teachers selected, and 2 of them have local ties. One of the finalists is Cooper High School English teacher Eric Zuccola. CCX News caught up with Mr. Zuccola as we talked to students about their high school newspaper in which he is their advisor. Another finalist is John Fila. Mr. Fila teaches English for Northern Star Online, which is part of Intermediate District 287, serving students from several local districts. The Teacher of the Year will be named on May 1st.
The Hopkins girls basketball team capped off a fantastic season by winning the state Class 4A title. Now one of the Royal Stars has earned a top individual honor. It was the perfect ending to a great senior season for Hopkins number 5, Amaya Battle. The All-State Guard Saturday was named Minnesota's Miss Basketball, given annually to the state's best senior. Battle averaged 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals per game this season for the state Class 4A champion Royals. A 6-year letter winner, Battle is second all-time at Hopkins in career assists. She played in the Coaches Association All-Star Game and is the 2022 Hopkins High School Athena Award recipient. Battle is part of a highly touted freshman class coming in next year to play at the University of Minnesota. Amaya becomes the 4th Miss Basketball Award winner from Hopkins, joining Leslie Knight from 2004, Nia Holly in 2016, and Paige Beckers in 2020. Other finalists for the award this year included Battle's teammate Maya Nashi and Mara Braun of Wayzata. The Osseo baseball team is hoping to climb the ladder in the Northwest Suburban Conference standings this spring. Jay Wilcox has more on the Orioles.
As the high school baseball season gets going, there's plenty of optimism at Osseo.
We have a lot of talent from every level, starting with the freshmen all the way through varsity. The future's bright for Osseo baseball for sure.
I mean, we're still kind of getting the rust off since it's early in the season, but honestly, I think this year's going to go pretty good. We got a lot of guys coming back.
Though the roster included a few key returning college players, Osseo won the State American Legion title last summer. A lot of those guys are on this spring's high school team, and they expect the winning mentality to carry over.
For us, it's so important that we want to carry on that legacy of that last Legion season, because we did have a few college students who came back to play, and like John Klein and JC, they're both big factors. However, most of us were on this high school team last year and stuff, so we're expecting a pretty similar outcome.
We have a lot of players that were kind of the core of that group that won the State Legion title last summer, and so they got to experience what success was like. Now that team also had some pretty good pitching, and we carried over some of that, so we'll see how that transfers to this squad.
Among the key returners, Matthew Kitzman, a pitcher and first baseman who was battling a shoulder problem early. Center fielder Brady Kwan, pitcher outfielder Sam Walkerstorfer, pitcher and shortstop Spencer Peterson, and third baseman Tyler Rose. Defensively, it's a sound team, and how well the bats come around may be the key.
Right now, I'd say defensively we're looking pretty good. Not too many errors. Everybody's got clean hands and making the plays they need to make. So I think that'll be our strongest point. And then if we can get the offense going, then we should be able to be a really good team this year.
Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jay. Osseo did manage to get in 3 games last week despite the rainy weather. They lost to River Falls, Wisconsin, and beat Champlin Park and Hanoka. They are scheduled to face Maple Grove, Rockford, and Rogers this week, weather permitting, of course. The high school spring sports season is slowly getting underway with weather permitting games. We have 3 games that air live on CCX early next week. On Monday, April 18th, Maple Grove hosts Osseo Park Center in girls lacrosse. It's the season opener for the Crimson and the second scheduled game for OPC. That's a 7 p.m. start. Tuesday the 19th at 4:30 p.m., Tutina Grace hosts Champlin Park in Northwest Suburban Conference softball. The Rebels beat the Eagles head-to-head last season. And Wednesday, April 20th, it's Northwest Suburban Conference girls lacrosse with Champlin Park visiting Armstrong. That game begins at 7 o'clock. You can watch all of these games live on TV on CCX1 or online at ccxmedia.org. That's it for sports. I'm John Jacobson.